Hey guys, Ryan here, and today we're going to bring you a replay on Fishermans Bay in the LHMTV. As I said, there's a lot of LHMTV and E50 replay, so what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and balance them out by doing an LHMTV replay, a random tank, then an E50, and then I'll just keep switching between the three. Now I'm 2 with Athena on this one and Stone Cold. This is going to be a tier 10 game, but as I stated before, I don't mind tier 10 games, especially in light tanks, but to be fair, most tanks don't really mind it. And again, you're going to see why I'm going to have a good game here for a bottom tier tank, but I'm not going to have as good a game as some of the tier 10s, and yet, spoiler alert, I'm going to come top of the team, and that's why I like tier 10 matches. You don't have to do as much damage or assistance or whatever to come top of the team and get high XP, which makes grinding quite easy. I'm playing the Charioteer at the moment, and I don't have the Top Gun yet, and the Top Gun is very expensive, so I'm actually playing it, hoping I get tier 10 matches. Because being a TD, it actually gets decent pan, and it's decently mobile, so I can actually easily fight against them. And it is actually going quite well, to be fair. I'm very much enjoying the Charioteer. You will have videos on that soon. Well, enough of that. I've come to the centre of the spot, as I always do. I always make sure that when I go to the centre of the spot, I keep a fair bit of distance away from the enemy light tanks. As I always say, British lights are not made for dueling with other light tanks. That's usually a fight you're going to lose. So you definitely want to try and keep your distance from them. And you're going to see now I'm actually going to start reversing, ready to drive away as I try and look for this light tank. Now it's a German light tank, I believe, the Hawk 12. He's got really good view range. He actually has really good high explosive as well if he uses them, so I need to be careful of that. But while he's going down the 1-2 line, that's giving me free reign to come here in the centre, because there's only one light tank per team. And I spot a chieftain. Get a nice easy shot into his side. And he's looking over here, but he can't quite see where I am. So he's going to back up now, and I've got the Patriot to shoot. I'm just going to say, I tend not to spot as much in the LHMTV. I kind of play it a bit like a very stealthy kind of mobile TD. I just find a position and start trying to get the shots in an enemy tank with this very nice gun that it's got. The 226 standard pen is kind of enough for most things. Because I said before, in one of my E50 games with the Panther 2 gun, that was 223mm of pen, and fighting a tier 10 game, I didn't fire a single premium round. More assistance. Jaeger at the back. Now watch this shot, by the way. 440 meters or 430 meters. Gonna aim for the cupola, and I actually nail it. So not only do you have good pen, you've got pretty good gun handling on this as well. I do try a blind shot, but doesn't quite work out. But you see, because the light tank's on the 1-2 line, I had free reign to get that snipe at the Jaeger room. Now I'm going to try and spot the opposite side of 1-2. But my issue is, again, I don't want to get spotted by their light tank, or really anyone over there. And I know there's a Jaeger to my left, somewhere. Hit the enemy light tank on the move, and I'm going to drop it to this ridge. The nice thing about the LHMTV is it's a very small tank. And now, I'm actually going to try and do something about this light tank. Trying to figure out my angle of attack, because I don't want to jump straight over if it means the tanks on the 1-2 line can then shoot at me, like the Chieftain and the Patriot. Second shot into him, back up in the cover. Teammates finish off him. And looking at the mini-map, it looks like the Hawk 12 is actually going to be in a bit of trouble here. But either way, I'm going to try and get to a position to help again, because I always say it, if you could deal with the light tanks on an enemy team, you have a huge advantage. I mean, that's generally speaking anyway. By the way, very lucky, he hits the side of me, doesn't pan, only damages my tracks. If you can get rid of the enemy light tanks on a team, you have a huge advantage. But especially if you're the one on a light tank, getting rid of the enemy light is huge for you. Gives you more freedom of movement around the map. Jumping up, gonna spot the Chieftain. And now racing away. Now we don't have too much support down the 1-2 line, because although it looked like I had a lot of people there, it's not really accurate because this was still during the bug. So look at the mini map to see how many people we got down there. Now the Jaeger was by itself earlier, and because of that, I'm going to load an APCR round in case I have to shoot through the front of him or his lower plate. And I'm actually going to start making my way towards the Jaeger room. There's a lot of enemies in town, but our team have a bit of a defensive perimeter over there from the center of the map. Now racing in, don't want to go into the cap circle. I can't quite spot this Jaeger room. Now I get a bit of lag here, which does put me into the cap circle. And you see me lagging around a little bit. So that wasn't too ideal, but thankfully for me, it happened at a time when there were no tanks looking at me and I wasn't spotted. So I got quite lucky with the lag there. Fire on the move, don't hit. He's on low health as well, so all the more reason to try and get rid of him. Those were some unnecessary APCR rounds as well, because he was actually basically the exact same position he was earlier, and he had a side to me, so I didn't need the APCR there. So I fired 2 APCR rounds, and now I'm going back to AP. Now the 1-2 line is kind of my main priority here. These are some scary tanks over there. There's a Chieftain still. The Waffle I don't really want to mess with. Got a very accurate gun with high alpha. And he also has very good view range, the Waffle. Do get 2 shots into the Chieftain. And now looking at it, it's going to come down to farming some damage now. I'm going to race over there first, and I want to deal with the Chieftain first because he's got low health. Now this is where the Tender's gun depression is going to come in handy as well. Just going to race over, auto-lock the Chieftain, and go. Back up. The Waffle cannot see me from where he's at, so I'm going to try and put shots at this M48. And this is where you're going to see, I do snap a shot in. Because of the little bumps and ridges here, you're going to see that the gun elevation on this tank is really poor, as it is on most of the British Lights. Because I'm going to hit a little downwards bit here, and I'm not going to be able to aim up at the M48. So trying to get a shot in, and my gun drops and won't aim any higher. Now Athenos has been killed. It's not too big of an issue. I still feel confident winning this game, got all my hit points. Teammate finished off the M48, and now he's got the artillery and a Foch. Now, I'm going to jump over, I'm going to try and go for the tracks, but the thing about low caliber guns is it takes multiple shots to tracks. You're going to say, I'm going to stop, I'm going to aim for the drive wheel, put 1 shot in, and it's not enough. So I'm going to use the pre-focusable. I'm going to try and track him again, which I successfully do, although just in time to get about 100 assistance from it. It's not the most ideal track, but a track nonetheless. And tier 10 game, didn't lose a single hit point, didn't spot much I'd like. And see, I came top, Atheno came second. The Leopard our team farmed over 5k damage because he's tier 10, doesn't get as much XP. And a nice casual game, the LHMTV, showing again the beautiful gun of this thing. 2900 damage, 2700 assistance, 2 kills, 84,000 profit, first class. And again, tier 10's not a problem for me. So thank you guys for watching, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.